Afghanistan and others, probably we might be losing that edge also. Manufacturing, they have already taken this thing. We will have to think of our entrepreneurs, our businessmen, they will have to think of a new paradigm in which the growth models have got to be built. Because the goodwill for India, the support for India in this area of activity is much more globally than for China. Though certainly they would not like these jobs to come to India, certainly there is a certain resistance about the growing Chinese or growing Asian giants or whatever you may call it, tiger and elephant or whatever is that. But the fact remains that when it comes to the choice between the two, the preference is for India, but economic sense makes in China, because whatever the Chinese government assures you, whatever you talk to them, that gets implemented. Here, there are so many vested interests, there are so many wheels within the wheels, that you really do not know where you stand. Who is telling you what, why, and at what cost? So we find that foreign direct investment, even the deals, even the Indian entrepreneurs probably going this thing like that, they find our system having a negative impact about the overall. We are not able to leverage our entire this thing and have a multiplier effect. If 3 plus 2 plus 3, it doesn't add up. Actually, it should not add up, it should multiply. But we become minus. If he is 3 and I am 2, we are together 1. Because I use 2 of my energy to neutralize this, to neutralize. He wins by 1 point. They make it 6, 3 into 2. Now, this capacity of the nation as a force multiplier is extremely important. And this is the weak governance. There can never be a force multiplication unless you have got a leader who has got a vision and then who has got the strength to carry his vision, whatever it is. You have to decide what is in the national interest and carry it through. And have the guts to accept the people who will have those missions to do that. Because the bigger problem comes is that a man who himself does not have this thing, he is extremely shaky about accepting the advice or taking this thing of the people who they think that he may take us too far into this thing and it may be very dangerous to going that way. Now that is what happens. Because you do not want to go to the uncharted path. Just if you decide, do you have the capacity to do it, are your intentions are good. If it's, go ahead. Build the nation. Build it up. Everybody is an equal. Yeah. So anyway.
Good evening, sir. Your speech was indeed profound and insightful. The main cause of hostility between India and Pakistan has been the Kashmir dispute. Will abolition of Article 370 serve any purpose, or can you suggest some kind of an enduring and permanent solution to this Kashmir dispute?
I'll first like to give you one answer. This is a speech by Musharraf in 2005 to the National Defense College of Pakistan, and then again reiterated in the press conference. He says the cause of Kashmir is not the only cause of dispute between us. Even after Kashmir, we have got many scores to settle with India. Now this is after the talks after the Lahore talks, the 2004 January talks. Bhutto in his book had written that Kashmir now is not the only unresolved problem. At that time it was united this thing. Assam has also yet to be settled because it was supposed to be part of this thing. That is in his book that he had written. You go through any of the things, any study of Pakistan's strategic literature, the books written by the former journalists, former politicians and others, right from the time of Firoz Khan Noor. Kashmir is symbolic. Kashmir is extremely important for Pakistan because their state idea is born that if it is a Muslim majority place, it cannot be part of a Hindu India. And therefore, Kashmir has got to be one. But that is not the end of this struggle. So, resolving the Kashmir dispute is important. But resolving the Kashmir dispute will bring about a normalcy in relations between India and Pakistan is wrong. Actually, even on the empirical side, more than Kashmir, it is the water thing which has taken the precedence. Now it is the water of the Indus and the water which is coming up by the other 3 rivers which are covered by the Indus Water Treaty, which are being disputed, and they wanted this thing, and that is going to be the major dispute. Besides that, there's a dispute on Sar Creek, there's a dispute on Siachen, there's a this thing. They will sort of, but the civilizational dispute will continue to happen. Now coming to the second point, whether 370 will this thing, it will not. You know, if you give them more autonomy, probably I have not understood your question. You meant that if 370 is further reinforced by giving them more autonomy, etc., will it solve the problem? Huh? You know, I'll tell you, probably abolition could give a very, very strong signal, both to Pakistan and the people in Kashmir, that is, we treat you as part of India and we will fully consider you as part of India. It will create, if you can take it on for 1 year or 6 months and have a strong, thick skin to bear it, I'll tell you the majority of the country, we are guilty of keeping Kashmiris in doubt and in confusion. We have always thought that even not we are fully reconciled to your being a total 100% Indian. They are also, you know, I've also worked in Kashmir, and I think there are a couple of my friends who have dealt with it, they would also be knowing that. They themselves feel that actually there is some scope. Every time, you know, it's like this, that, you know, when we're in college or something like that, some girl will smile. She meant nothing, but you thought that there was some scope. If she could just tell you that, no, my smile doesn't mean anything else, then probably you also, you want to study and you want to go to your games and sports. You won't waste your time. It is just like this. Kashmiris feel that, well, Narasimha Rao says, sky's the limit. The sky's the limit, and after that, you know, anybody's aspirations are good. The sky's the limit, something can come. Then somebody will say that, well, maybe that will give you the autonomy, devolution of power. Tell them, you are as good an Indian as anybody else. You will get everything that any Indian gets. When India prospers, you prosper. India sinks, you sink. We sink together, period. And you will find that within 2 years, there will be a complete mindset change about Kashmiris. See the history of Kashmir. They have always been with the people who have been powerful. You know, I don't want to cast any aspersions, but then since I've just see how the Mughals subdued them. See how Afghanistan then came. How in their ballad and in their history and other, the worst times had been when they had been overruled by the Muslims. The maximum atrocities had been there, but they had always been very loyal to them and subdued to them, though harbored a certain amount of a rancor against them. But you need to be strong, powerful, and clear-headed. You send the weakness, you send the signal of weakness, and you provoke the other man to be unreasonable. Be strong, be clear. And again, withdrawal of 370, not that we are being vindictive. It is because we want the Kashmiris the best. Because we want to tell them and we want to tell Pakistan. There's no scope here. There's a final and that's the end. So there is no possibility of any revision. Don't harbor any of these thoughts, and probably things will then start settling down better and easier. Anything else?
Today there is a PSI course in every individual after the 26th level. Now, basically one thing I just want to suggest, why can't we have a team of people who can be sent to the Frank Campus School in Alabama, where they train mercenaries? Please highlight us.
Now, who do you want to send to Frank Campus School in Alabama?
No. Some people from the forces, from the police force.
Okay, I don't think I'll go into a very long listing. Have you? I can only say that was the type of training and the type of systems or methodologies that we have got. I don't think Frank Campus schools or these mercenary schools have got anything compared to that. And if you go through Frank Campus' own press interview, in which he had said that I know the Indian security forces, when it comes to a crutch, their capacity to crush any of these movements is much higher. That was when the Khalistan movement was going on. That is what the Frank Campus said. Don't overestimate these mercenary schools. It's not a question of how to use a gun and how to make a target. It is not that the battles, that these insurgencies or terrorisms are lost or won because your target, you missed the target by 3 inches or 13 inches. You wanted to fire at a man and then probably he went in this thing. It doesn't matter. It's not a shooting competition. If you lose